Hello, my name is Ray.
And my name is Becca.
And welcome to And That's Why We Do Shots! Yeah! So, how are we doing, Becca? And what are we doing shots of?
So, today we're doing shots of water.
Yeah! Hydration!
Because I'm going out of town and we're recording this at 9 in the morning.
Yeah! We love being responsible.
Yeah, and it's too close to graduation for day drinking.
Yet.
Yet. For now. Until graduation's over.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Well, last week, Becca told us a very interesting murder. Becca, want to give us a cute little recap?
Yes, murder in 60 seconds. Okay, so last week what we talked about was the East Area Rapist, otherwise known as the original Night Stalker. He currently holds about 51 victims of sexual assault and 13 murders. He was recently caught in 2018 after 50 years of searching. He was convicted and he is currently serving the rest of his life in prison at 72 years old.
Yay! See, that was so cute and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you do shots.
And that's so,
And so for today's episode,
yes,
Ray is going to be retelling us a classic tale with some new lore. But before we do that, let's take these shots.
Free, fuck yeah.
Salud.
Yes. Water!
Hydration!
The sexiest thing we could do is drink water. All right. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the tale of the Pied Piper. Now, Becca, tell me, what do you know about the Pied Piper?
I know that he pied his pipe, right? Get your mind out of the gutter. We drank water. He played the flute or the piccolo or whatever the instrument was, and he attracted rats, right?
He attracted rats!
And he told these people, well, if you pay me, I'll get the rats out of your city. And then they didn't pay him, so he took their kids instead and put the rats back? Question mark?
Put the rats back. He said, let me replace your kids with rodents. Okay, that's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But let me fill in some gaps for you. So, fun facts for you. Some fun facts. Firstly, this fairy tale is based off of real events. It's not just something that the Grimm brothers made up or some other fairy tale recorder made up. It was a real thing that happened in the town of, and I really should have looked up how to say a lot of these German words before this, but I did not. So we're going to see how this goes. But it happened in the town of Hamelin, Germany.
Hamelin. I took 3 years of German.
You help me out then. This will be great. In the town of Hamelin, Germany, around the year 1284. I don't know how to say years.
Yeah, 1284.
1284. And the town was infested with rats. Like, they were fucking everywhere. Like, and this is like right before or right, I can't remember. It's around the time of the Black Plague. So rats are a bad thing. Stop. But the town was legitimately infested by rats, and it was starting to become a real problem. And so the mayor was like, I'm going to offer money to anyone who can get rid of them. Please, God, help my town. And so then enters the hero, villain, anti-hero of our story, the Pied Piper. And like, the reason he was called Pied is Pied just means like multicolored. So he just had a very colorful like suit, not a suit, but like costume, if we will. He's also called the Rat Catcher, which, side note, Rat Catcher from Suicide Squad. Anyway, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Woman Crush Wednesday.
Look. But yeah, Rat Catcher. Or the Pied Piper. He came to town and he was like, I can get rid of them. And he played his cute little instrument and he got all the rats and he drowned them in a river that was near the town, the Weser River. Weser. Oh, because yes, Weser River that was by the town. He drowned all the rats, which is very sad. And then he was like, I did it. And then the mayor in the town refused to pay him and then proceeded to not only not pay him, but they were like, some of them were like, oh, you don't deserve deserve this money because you didn't like do any work. You just played an instrument. That's not worth money. And then some people even accused him of putting the rats in the town so that he could lure them out. They were like, you did this to us. Yeah.
How though?
Like, they probably thought, like, oh, these are trained rats, and he trained them to come into town so that he could take them out so he could get paid. Yeah. Like, they thought it was a scam.
So, like, he trained millions of rats to just do rat things and then not do rat things when he's around?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. So the town just refused to pay him. And so he was like, bet, I'm going to come back, bitches, and you're going to regret this. And so then on St. John and Paul's Day, all the parents were at church doing Christian things, and all the children were at home. And then the Pied Piper supposedly came back to town dressed in all green to look like a hunter and lured exactly 130 kids away. Of all the things in the story, that is the most specific thing. It's 130 kids were taken away and never seen again. Yay!
It's so weird that he said, oh, okay, I'm gonna dress in all green. And you said students, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that kind of sounds like he's emulating a school shooter. But
No!
It's true! Okay, whatever.
Anyway, and no one really knows for the longest time what happened with the kids. There were many theories. One of the theories is that he drowned them all in the same river he drowned the rats. Because revenge. Then there are a few other more logical-ish theories, kind of. One is that they were taken to Transylvania. One that they were taken to some hill. And one that they were taken to some mountain that was around the town. These are the general theories.
What were the names? Just let me hear them.
Koppelberg Hill.
Okay.
And Koppenberg Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've never taken German.
Yeah, but that's close.
Yeah. And then there were even some theories that the kids were returned, but for like 3 times the money that they were going to give him. Like, he was like, I'll give you back your kids if you give me my money plus some extra.
Or lost.
So no one really knew for the longest time. But a fun fact, there is a street in that town that I'm going to try to pronounce right now. Okay. And it's going to be really bad. I'm trying to think in German. But I have Bungelstrasse.
Bungelosentrasse.
Thank you. Which translates to the street without drums, which is apparently the last place the children were ever seen, and music and dancing is still banned from that street.
They really footloosed them, huh?
They footloosed that street.
Okay. Beyond the footloose, here's my first question. Were the bodies ever found?
No.
Oh.
Like, there's no trace.
No trace of the kids.
There's 0 trace.
Okay.
No one knows.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is like all the basics of this tale that we have known. This is what all the fairy tales are based off of, the Disney shorts, what everything is based off of this. But very recently, a very old town record was found. And it was written and kind of like transcribed from one of the children that was left behind in the town because this child was deaf. So he couldn't hear the music that the Pied Piper was playing. And this is also in a lot of the original like fairy tales recordings of this tale. Like, there's like 1 child or 3 children left behind because they either can't catch up or they can't hear, because if you're deaf, you can't hear his music. And so recently a town record came out that was his telling of what happened, because apparently he saw a few things. The thing is, though, about this record is that it's very old and in German, which we have already learned I don't speak. But I was able to find a rough English translation of it that I also dumbed down for this podcast.
Thank you, I needed that.
Yeah, well, yes, this was totally for you, the STEM major, not for me, the theater major. That's why I did this. So we have an updated version of this tale, which now I will read / recite / remember off the top of my head.
Period.
All right. So, on St. Paul and John's Day in the year 1284, I lost all of my friends. Our parents were at church as we rested and played the day away. I was playing with my siblings, but decided to take a small nap. When I awoke, they were nowhere to be found in the house. I went outside to look for them, and not only could I not find them, but the streets also seemed empty. All of the houses looked dead and empty. In a state of panic, I started to make it for the church. On the way there, I found a small child crying.
It's so sad.
Already so sad. Just you wait. Though I could not hear him, it was clear that he was very upset. I was able to calm him down enough to be able to read his lips. He said that he was sad because he was blind and couldn't follow the music properly. Though I was confused, I was able to tell him that I would help him follow it. With glee, he grabbed for me and we walked together to follow this music. All the while, I was hoping that this music would hopefully lead to where everyone had gone and would help explain it. So we followed the music for a while with much difficulty, but eventually we made it to the edge of town. There, we found them. Not only did we find my siblings, but every single child in my town. I was overjoyed to find everyone until I saw him. A tall man in green playing an instrument. I didn't recognize him, and I never saw him talking, and yet it looked as if he had some control over everyone. They all seemed mesmerized. He beckoned for me to join him, and although I didn't want to, the small child that I had found was still holding on to me and found a way to push us towards him. As soon as we joined the group, we all started walking. I had no idea where we were going, but I thought it was best if I just went along for now. After a short while, we reached the river that was right by town and all stopped. Then, though I couldn't hear it, it felt as if the tune that the piper was playing had changed suddenly. Now, all of the children that were extremely young and or weak started to walk forward. My new friend that I had found let go of me and started to head for the river. Before I could stop any of them, they all started to jump into the river. All of them were going in and not a single one even attempted to swim. They were drowning themselves. And I saw them drowning themselves while the rest of the children just stood there. Not a single reaction from any of them other than a simple smile that never faltered.
Oh my God.
I stood there, unmoving and shocked. I was frozen with fear, and before I could do anything good, this piper looked straight at me. He looked into my eyes, and as I looked into his, all I could see was pure hate, followed with pure joy. I ran back into town, went to the church, and told everyone what I saw. Apparently, a few parents went to the river, but could find no trace of the children, dead or alive. I became one of the few children left in town, and not only am I alone now, but also I am still afraid that one day he might come back for me. So what do we think?
I'm gonna cry. Oh my God.
What part of it made you want to cry?
The last part, like just the kids were so defenseless in all of this.
Yeah.
And like I understand targeting why he would target kids. He's very angry, he's very, pissed off, but also like couldn't he have just not done that? Couldn't he have just put the rats back?
He drowned the rats. But you know what I found interesting?
What?
He didn't drown all the kids. So where did the other kids go?
Oh my God, I didn't even notice.
He only drowned the young and the weak. Meaning he wanted the strong. And we don't know why.
That's horrifying to think of.
So either he did something really fucked up with them, or it was like one of the other theories where like they walked somewhere, or he just took them somewhere else, or we don't know. We got new information, and yes, it shed a light on some things, but it also made it so much worse.
Oh, that made it so much worse because then we could just like go on believing that, oh no, the kids returned, it's fine. I don't have to think about this. But now I know that the kids died, and
some of them, but also the bodies were never found. Nothing was found.
But the little boy said he saw them drown.
He did, but they didn't even find those bodies.
Maybe they got swept down river.
That's what I'm thinking, is that they got swept down the river and just didn't have time to track him down. But also, this is a little boy.
Yeah.
Did they believe him? You know?
Oh, God. Can you imagine what it must be to go through something so traumatic and then have nobody believe you?
Especially because he was, deaf. Like, would they believe him? Like, they went to look, but also they couldn't find their kids, but also didn't find any trace of what he said. Which is probably why I think this record was hidden for so long and wasn't found until now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, that little boy probably lived the rest of his life so horribly.
Yeah. Yay! And that was our episode today.
Leave him hanging.
Yeah! I hope you all enjoyed it. Becca, why don't you give us a sneak peek on what murder thing we'll be talking about next week?
So, next week, we will not be doing anything happier.
Yay!
We'll be talking about Ted Bundy, which I know a lot of you have requested. So, we're going to talk about Ted Bundy and specifically his actions at the Chi chapter of Florida State University and how that affected sororities and their policies even till today.
Yay! That's so fun! I'm so glad we do this! Well, we have that to look forward to.
As always, I'm Becca.
And I'm Ray.
And this has been And That's Why We Do Shots.
Yeah! Let's do more.